I'm glad you're back. The sooner I gain your assistance, the sooner I can leave these miserable outdoors and return to my temperature-controlled office. I'm sure you have questions. I do indeed. Specifically, I'm their general counsel. Forest Mills, if you somehow don't know, owns Tile, Wentworth, Dock Rocket, and 24/7 Furniture. We're something of a big deal. When the going gets tough, the lawyers start going. Some farther than others. I've been a junior lawyer for coming up on 20 years now, and quite frankly, I'm getting old. Hopefully, there will be enough legal kindling out here to fuel my firm for a while longer, and if I find that kindling, I stand to finally get my raise.
Analysis. Ground appears to be scattered with purpleberry seedlings. This particular strain is of a variety proprietary to Rizzo's and should not be in common use.
Hello again, youngster. You're certainly doing a lot of running to and fro. Don't overexert yourself. The wasp-mosquitoes can smell weakness. Bleeding hell. Standing up like this makes a body forget how stiff he gets bent over plants all day. Oh, seems I'm not as young as I feel. Oh, there that damn thing is. Thank you. I guess this proves it's wise to label your things. Otherwise, some fool might use them as prizes in an ill-advised scavenger hunt. I will admit, I did take the original, yes. But I did so to keep it away from those who shouldn't have it. It's safer in my hands. If you're here to get it, I might suggest you give up. I'm known to be quite a stubborn git. Damnation, hadn't thought of that. Isn't my having it better than any random guest making off with it? I guess not, if it'll cause the company more trouble. Here's the original. Don't do anything with it that I wouldn't do.
Hello there, stranger. Has the terror ray landed? Keep your voice down. Never know who might be listening. Let me have a look. It's a little scratched on the neck, and the label's a bit smudged. Smells funny, but I think it is genuine, yes. This'll look real good in my archives. Here's your pay. I'll be in touch if there's ever another time when I need to keep a corporation honest. And if anyone ever asks, we never met.
This console is 95% non-functional. Remaining 5% functionality stems from display reading console non-functional. Cause of shortout is most likely related to purple residue splattered all across the keyboard. Substance contains trace amounts of purple berries, fruit flavors, and artificial sweeteners number 35, number 49, number 240, number 322, number 314, and many, many, many others.
You've got to be doing this just to mess with me.
Analysis. This discarded canister is typical of the R-mounted storage tanks on the orchard's agricultural mechanicals. However, it is not currently attached to a mechanical. This canister contains a high amount of vinegar in addition to water. Warning. Use of vinegar, a known herbicide on purpleberry saplings, is a violation of Rizzo's agricultural standards. These canisters can typically be found in the nursery storage building in the purpleberry orchards, except for this one, which can be found here. Chemical makeup of substance, 50% water, 50% vinegar. Trace amounts of woolly cow feces also detected.
You're back, I see. Glad Slug hasn't managed to scare you off.
I think it's more of a wonder that nothing in these law-forsaken orchards has managed to kill them.
How's the investigation going? You got a complete report for me yet? All right, let's hear the details. A drink? I ain't ever heard of no saboteur dumping drinks all over equipment to destroy it. I hate to say it, but that sounds more like worker carelessness.
How many times do I have to tell you this, old man? Slug isn't behind your problems. Slug wouldn't even need to cause you problems. Your own workers do enough.
Ha! Knew Slug was behind the damn sabotage.
Please. We're subtle, but that's too subtle. If we wanted to destroy your saplings, you'd have known them by the blackened remnants of their stems, not some half-assed poisoning.
I see you left a few of them intact even. Smashed more than I'd like, but I guess I'm glad you didn't obliterate them all.
Never did like leaving a job half-finished myself, but that's me.
So what were the fine details of the sabotage anyhow? Were Slug's lackeys trying to get the mechanicals to kill all our waspitos? Of course. And what better way to do that than by targeting our pollinizers? They'd be a hell of a pain to kill manually. But if you set the mechanicals to do it...
In your delusional fantasy, the waspitos wouldn't be out until next pollinization cycle. Wouldn't someone notice the rampant mechanicals beforehand?
That seems like a question you should be asking yourself. Well, yes, it's possible to manually start and end cycles in Hive Control, but we keep a careful watch on it. And there have been no non-Rizzo's personnel in or out.
Stop wasting everyone's time, Hathaway. What you're proposing is infinitely less likely than an idiot maneuver by one of your incompetent workers. I won't hear any further slander. Let's go through this one final time so even you can't confuse it, Hathaway. Slug didn't do a damn thing to your orchards. You're chasing ghosts.
Talk about ghosts all you like, but someone was screwing with my orchards. If it wasn't Slug, then who the hell was it? You picked a hell of a time to lose your tongue over there, friend. I guess I can't force you to tell me anything, but the peace of mind would have been worth much to me. Right now, we of the orchards have to settle things with Slug. I reckon that you're about as impartial a third party as we're gonna get. Can you mediate?
Ah, what the hell. The orchardist seems to get off on complicating what should be a simple deal, but at this point, I just want to be paid and go. The pollen in the air is agitating.
Never liked paying bits if I ain't gotta, but you're right. If we get production finished now, we'll be able to pay later. Thoughts, Slug Boy?
I think that's the first interesting suggestion I've heard since our back and forth began. Slug can wait for an increase in costs. I hope we won't have this conversation again. So, our situation is finally resolved. At the end of the day, it's almost amazing how easily you were able to solve both of our issues. Shame you aren't living in Byzantium. Could have been an inter-corporate diplomat. But at the moment, I'm more than pleased to take advantage of your considerable skill. Thanks for ending this nightmare, Inspector.
Well, that's that, I reckon. Much as I would have liked you to send Slug packing, I can't deny that your solution was damn slick. Wish you'd been there at the annulment of my last marriage contract. Maybe then my ex-husband wouldn't have my house, our teacup canet, and 20,000 of my bits. Sorry. We're living past trauma. Thanks for working things out.
How in the aether did you get in here? You're not a Rizzo's authorized. Oh, void it all. What does it even matter now? What do you want? Speak up and quickly if you will. You do know that Halcyon Helen is a fictional character portrayed by the late actress, Ruth Bellamy, yes? One can't be too sure with so many simpletons around in the day-to-day. Regardless, I am not at liberty to divulge such information with non-employees or personnel lacking security clearance level Spectrum Orange. Of course, if you were to say, contract your services to me, I suppose I could grant you clearance enough to answer your murder-related questions, Mr. Inspector. You see, I've found myself in a bit of a pickle. Some of my lab techs have turned rather aggressive following a recent experiment gone awry. Hence why I've barricaded myself in the lab. Yes. I suppose I should make myself useful. Let me think. Ah, I know. I can remotely unlock the supply closets in the lower levels of the lab. Perhaps you'll find some useful apparatus or two in them. And lose my life's work? You want me to just burn my lab and my entire future to the ground over one experiment that's gotten rather out of hand? No, I think not. We merely need to clean up the mess, so to speak. Reset the lab back to functional parameters.
Do any researchers in this colony give a damn about human lives? Or does having a conscience make you unqualified for the job?
Staff can be replaced, you know. Research data? Now that's invaluable. Oh no. They're quite unaware of their actions, I'm afraid. We're a research and development branch of Rizzo's, focused primarily on the Spectrum vodka line. But the specific research that goes on in this facility is utterly confidential. You understand? So you've no qualms about snooping through my precious research files. But will you understand the data once you've acquired it? Essentially, we research new innovations for an array of Rizzo's products. My present troubles stem from one we've just developed. The product's potential for profit is nearly limitless. But I'm afraid explaining the science behind it would far exceed your capability for understanding.
If it's causing sudden aggressive behavior in lab technicians, there must be a fast-acting neurological agent of some kind.
I've underestimated you. Yes, it seems to be an adverse effect of several organisms attaching to a subject. Quite unnerving. Excellent. You have my gratitude, and soon you'll have my knowledge of Miss Bellamy's recent visit as well. Now, if you'd rather not kill my lab techs during this cleanup, I believe you can dispense a sedative gas from a terminal in the utility room.
Your call, Captain. I don't know if the lab techs can even be helped at this point.
The door to the lower labs is sealed for our safety, so you'll need to take the elevator down. I'll unseal the access hallway for you now. Do take care. Just who in the... Oh my law. It's you. Wait. What do you think you're...
What was that? Boss, we gotta move.
Just when we were gonna get some answers.
Confirmation of discrepancy confirmed. This person is most definitely dead. But recently, they were still alive.
These puncture marks. It looks like she was injected with something.
What do you think happened? I don't get it. If the killer's some type of dissident, they'd want to make a bloody mess. Set an example. Maybe these lab coats weren't the real target.
Body heat readings indicate that the culprit was just here, mere moments earlier in the timeline.
Oh, you're that inspector. Right. Sorry, but the pool's currently closed on account of it stinking worse than my boss. What can I do for you? Space me if I knew. I got here for my shift this morning and found it this way. They can't yell at me for this one, which is good, because a lot of folks seem upset by it. Gee, you're pretty sharp. Yeah, the reception party would have extended out here, but we had to close it off, what with the contamination. And now the reception ain't happening anyway. Can't do much now but wait for the stench to wear off. We found the individual hired to clean face down in a puddle of his own spit in the orchards. Guess he won't be helping. All right. You may want to visit the sun parlor. That's where that Rizzo's fool mixed the chemicals he used. Oh, and you could talk to Lily, my boss. She probably has some great advice. I saw her walk toward the bridge to the Purpleberry Orchards earlier. Reckon she's still there. Now, anything else I can do for you? So long as you don't want to go in, I can answer anything you like. Yeah, it's part of the job. I think I'm listed as a security consultant. But all that really means is that if I'm caught without this thing, I get put on pool guard duty. I don't know what happens if I'm caught without it on pool guard duty, but I know that I don't want to find out. Yep, still dead. Usually Rizzo's is pretty good at making sure the people they hire ain't got tripicale for brains, but that fella clearly wasn't worth trusting. I met him briefly once. Seemed level-headed enough, but that must have been just a front. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made such a mess of things.
Analysis reveals the chemical signature of this compound is 80% semblant of fertilizer used in the Purpleberry Orchards. The other 20% is semblant of pool water.
I saw you meander on out of the pool and into the greenhouse. Now you're here. Does that mean what I think it means? Might mean that you can be trusted. Might not. Guess we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe I just want Rizzo's working relationship with Slug to implode for the benefit of Spacer's choice. But you're right. It ain't high profile. And it ain't gotta be. Any damage to Rizzo's is cause for celebration. You ain't gotta concern yourself with my spite. Consider me an average Byzantine, and I'll consider you an average contractor. Shame. Well, I hope you'll soon see Rizzo's for what they are, and help me bring them low.
Oh, thanks a million, Inspector. The smell cleared right up. Well, in a couple hours, the guests might even be back. Then I actually gotta start doing my job. Of course, we're not gonna get a follow-up shipment for the water anytime soon, so they'll have to content themselves on the deck. I got a little something for making my job that much less miserable. It's the key to our storeroom. If my boss asks, you never met me. I guess I can spare a few bits, and, here, this pack of smokes. Sorry, they don't really load me up with the goods. I gotta get back to it if you don't mind, Inspector.
Non-slug personnel aren't permitted on the pilot house. Can I help you with something? Sure. He in trouble or something? Well, shit. What happened? Is he all right? I just had a shift with Evan at the Purpleberry Orchards, kind of. We were supposed to haul some crates, but he was drunk when I got there. I took him to room 82 under the hotel so he could sleep it off. Guess he was drunker than I thought if he didn't show for work. I'd appreciate it if you did. I'd like to know he's okay.
Hey, you look like you need some stuff. Fancy watch? Spare cufflink? Single earring? You want it, I've got it. Junk. My friend, this is not junk. These are people's prized possessions. Priceless personal effects, beloved souvenirs and knickknacks. Huh? Oh, well, some of the guests left this stuff behind. I would certainly not admit to that even if it were true. Take a look for yourself. Me? Oh, sure. Terrific. Never better. And as soon as I pay off my docking fines, I'll be back on my feet and in my ship. So it turns out Slug has some pretty strict rules on vehicle docking, and I may have broken a few of them. Who'd think Slug would be so strict? Let's see. There's docking without prior authorization, double docking, docking into adjacent vessels, docking while under the influence of alcohol, docking while under the influence of caffeinoids, and loitering. And that reminds me that I've got delinquency fees accruing on top of the original docking fines, which is why I'm hoping you'll purchase my fine wares.
Discrepancy detected. Rizzo's company policy clearly states that all proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life. Excellent observation, Inspector. Have you deduced a possible cause of death? Unusually small entry wounds indicate exotic weaponry. Closest approximations are 1. Incident involving a game of darts. 2. The Needler. Now running flattery protocol. Excellent deduction, Inspector. Your logical faculties make my programming seem Paleolithic by comparison. Famously deployed by Halcyon Helen in Terror on Monarch. This weapon was responsible for executing the Chief of the Savages, played by Spencer Woolridge. This unit is incapable of providing ethical advice. This unit is also incapable of answering rhetorical questions. This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected. Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material. Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
Greeting protocols initiating. Greeting protocols cancelled. Phaeton cannot extend pre-programmed pleasantries at this time. Error. Phaeton requires an attitude adjustment. Affirmative. To achieve attitude adjustment, acquire the Gyroscopic Alignment Key, or GAC, and convey it to the Gyroscope Management Terminal in Engineering. Utilize the GAC to interface with the Gyroscope Management Terminal and execute the Gyroscopic Axial Realignment procedure. This will achieve an attitude adjustment. Rizzo's thanks you in advance for your assistance. Please note that Rizzo's does not pay for uncontracted labor, but a member of HR will issue a favorable remark on your permanent record. Access to engineering levels granted.
You there! By the law, you seem to have your wits about you. I'm saved.
Do you want to let her down, or should I?
I mean, what are you doing here? I am strategically evading a threat. Let's not get hung up on semantics. The only people I've seen down here tried to kill me. The automechs are shooting anything that moves. And then there's the canids. Not like these. Rizzo's was feeding them Spectrum or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, they got mean. And big. Crashing into a storm, succumbing to crushing atmospheric pressure. Those are later problems. No need to trouble yourself. I'll handle the realignment. Later. Soon, even. I'm just not ready yet. Live like a coward. Shit. Ah, right. I see what you're trying to do. And it's working. I'll let you help.
You got a real interesting motivational technique.
Meet me at the engineering overlook above the gyroscope, and bring the GAC. Just watch your step. The automechanicals will fire on anything that moves. Except for their captain, of course. I'm a captain, not an engineer. Still, you might be able to avoid some of them if you come through here. You made it! And in one piece, too! Surprised? I'm not surprised. It's just that Rizzo's doesn't always hire the most qualified people for the job, you know? My thoughts exactly. Time we dealt with these canids once and for all. I can overheat some of the pipes to roast those monsters where they stand. What do you say?
And hear me out, incredibly fun?
I mean, it is for the canids, of course. But we'll be perfectly safe. The chief engineer showed me how to do it at one of our after-hours Spectrum socials. It's fine. It'll be fine. What? Like, knock them out? And muzzle them and get them back to their kennels? Why in law's name would we do that? That's an excellent point. You might have just earned me a promotion, friend. Okay, here goes. Oh, and one more thing. I was thinking, once I'm finished, you should be the one to realign Phaeton, since you've been such great moral support.
Greeting protocols suspended. Checking for gyroscopic alignment. Gyroscopic alignment confirmed. Rizzo's thanks you for your assistance.
Whoa, you scared the daylights out of me. Don't sneak up on a fella like that. Say, you wouldn't happen to be the inspector investigating Halcyon Helen's murder. You look like you might fit the bill. Hey, I got it right. You must be a real top runger to be in charge of a case like this. Oh, wait, that's why you're talking to me. I'll help however I can. Oh, I hate to say it, but I never met Helen. Not even in passing. I've seen a couple serials, but otherwise, I don't know anything about her. But I do know a thing or two about traps. This here's my Terra Ray Grounder, and once it works, it'll zap those wing sprats out of the sky. Not yet. I'm missing a few parts before I can power it up. Actually, you seem capable, and I need some help getting those parts I'm missing. I can make it worth your while. I've got an incomplete list here, but I'm a tad on the scatterbrain side. You mind taking a look at my terminal to certify I ain't forgetting anything? Thanks. I'll start working these things into my machine. Come back when you found the rest, and we can get to Terra Ray burning.
Welcome to Rizzo's Distillation Station, where we process scented rocket fuel, bubbly beverages, and spirits that'll make you smile, all in the same system of pipes. The top level of the distillery is available to all guests for the purpose of sightseeing and novelty product purchasing. However, it saddens me to inform you that due to classified reasons, we are currently under a state of emergency. As such, we are offering a total of 0 lower-level tours at this time. Yes, that is not what I meant. Yes, you are almost right, but not quite correct. The word no contains such a negative connotation. As such, I have endeavored to replace it with happier words in my vocabulary. See? Yes, but not at this time. Access has been barred to all non-essential level workers. Wow, so you are! Gosh, could I get an autograph? I'll put it on my desk right next to the one I got from Black Hole Birdie. He's so smart and strong, or, well, at least he's very strong. Oh, and I must forget to inform you, Inspector, you are still not authorized to enter the lower levels at this time. Please contact Administrator Ludovico if you feel this decision has been made in error. On the upper floors of the facility, we are proud to offer investors and celebrities alike a pristine tour area for experiencing all that the distillation station has to offer Eridanos. Tours are entirely self-guided, so feel free to try one. Simply head through the doors behind me and frolic in the sweet bliss of Rizzo's psychedelic sugar-fueled paradise. Once you've reached the tasting room, your tour will have completed. And remember, for your safety, guests are advised not to stray from the approved tour path. Wowee, your deductive skills sure are exceptional. According to my records, we're currently sold out of all Premium and Premium Plus passes. Also, golden ticket sales are suspended for the time being due to... Yes, that is exactly right. I would be most happy to accommodate your request, were I able to, but I would need a clearance level of Spectrum Violet or higher to contact the administrator himself. Stop! Please, I beg you! I hate sad people! No! My head! It hurts! I need room temperature guzzle of the triple distilled deliciousness of Spectra Vodka Brown. Soon! Yes, very soon! Everything is rainbows here! Yes, indeed! Oh my! But I've endeavored to follow every contractual clause and law to the letter for my entire life. Correction, for the purposes of honesty, I've endeavored to follow every contractual clause and law to the letter since my morale treatment in the RR&DD lab several weeks ago. Thinking on such a time makes me unhappy. As such, I avoid doing so at all costs. Yes, that's right. The way I see the world, it's so pretty now. All sparkling and prismatic. I'll do anything to protect this precious gift Rizzo's has given me. Understand? Technically, you are correct. I am ultimately a flawed being, as are all humans. But now, I'm a happier being, flaws and all. Wonderful! I am so very pleased that I could aid you with your criminal questioning.
Greetings, tour guest, and welcome to the tasting room of the Rizzo's distillation station. This unit has been programmed to dispense beverage samples to authorized guests. Error. Current guest does not meet the standards of this unit's authorization protocol. Please leave via the nearest available exit. Thank you. This taste testing experience is limited to authorized guests. All authorized guests must appear on a list of addresses located in Byzantium. This unit has been programmed to offer critical analysis of all things related to taste. This unit finds your demeanor, appearance, bearing, and/or class in very poor taste. Affirmative. This unit has been programmed to recognize over 2,000 expressions of taste, including but not limited to the following: fruity, acidic, bright, earthy, pungent, tangy, dirt. This unit has also been programmed to criticize your taste in the following: clothing brands, cigarettes, etherwave dramas.
Physical analysis reveals this to be a crate of Rizzo's Spectrum Vodka, based on bottle shapes and label types. Chemical analysis reveals that this is not a crate of Rizzo's Spectrum Vodka, based on flavor notes and presence of excess ethanol.
Inspector, you're early. Awfully sorry about this, but I'm afraid I can't let you into the spaceport at the moment. We're shipping out some contraband goods, and I can't risk an inspector as an eyewitness. You'll have to come back later. Ah, but you have no proof. All you know is I claimed Slug is involved in contraband, and I certainly wouldn't trust my word, would you? You might inspect Purpleberry Orchards while Slug finishes up. We should have the spaceport ready for you by the time you're done.
Whew! Thanks for the help back there. I've actually never fired a gun before. Is this ringing in your ears normal? That's more than a little disconcerting, since I maxed out my medical allotment this month. That's what I call my booze fund. Still, I had to be alive to be able to go deaf later. I'm not sure if I actually hit any shots. If you hadn't intervened, it could have been bleak. I'm just as confused as you are. Someone should have been on shift to see them coming. Ms. Vargas would probably have a better idea of what happened. She's stationed at the luxury pad. What do you mean? Oh. You know, they warned me about freelancers, but I forgot what they said. Also, who they were. Anyway, here.
Greetings, attractive patron. Please allow me to improve your drinking experience with fine cocktails. Error. This unit is incapable of murder, as it possesses no conscious will. The proper term would be destruction of company property. Neither this unit nor its corporate proprietor claim any responsibility for any destruction of company property that this unit did or did not commit. This unit is incapable of abandoning its post. This view of the lobby is all it knows, has known, or will ever know.
Seriously? Are we gonna interrogate the refrigerator next?
Search failed. Suspicious data not found.
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too. Now that our introductions are out of the way, do let me know if I can help you with anything. Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy. Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things. That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often. Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station. Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off. Well, not necessarily, but they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the Marauders like the vermin they are. Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
I understand there was an incident at the orchards. The pollination cycle began without my authorization. Fortunately, you managed to save most of the hive. The wasp-ketos are essential to the orchards, you see. Losing them would have cost us months of production. The orchards can be a dangerous place, but my workers understand the hazards. Something about this incident troubles me. The circumstances are suspicious. But let's concentrate on the matter at hand. Have you discovered anything? You have my attention. That's deeply upsetting. Dr. Leora Blossom was an extraordinary scientist and a friend. We have a murderer on the loose, Inspector, as if the death of Halcyon Helen wasn't enough of a blow to our facility. Her commitment to her NDA was admirable. I'll make sure to accelerate the payout of her death benefits to her next of kin. I wish you'd give me a little more information, Inspector. Leora was a friend. But I promised to leave this investigation in your hands, and so I shall. If there's anything else you'd like to share, you have my attention. Insisted? That's interesting. We'd scheduled a tour of the lab for Helen. Purely a public relations event to be held sometime in the indeterminate future. Then again, Helen and I were not well acquainted. I can't speak to her intentions. Little of consequence. We'd tour the grounds, pause at some locations appropriate for a portrait, let her shake hands with our scientists. Public relations. A picnic? I don't recall approving a private social gathering at the orchards. I'll have to make a note of this information. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Was there anything else? That's troubling, to say the least. Any transfer of proprietary data is strictly prohibited without my permission. A clever deduction, Inspector. That gives us a little information to work with. Yes, I share your suspicions. Someone didn't want you following their trail. This feels like more than corporate espionage. Someone's playing with us, Inspector. And I have never in my life enjoyed games. Did you discover anything else? This incident at the orchards must be connected to Helen's murder somehow. I don't know how, but I feel it in my marrow. My apologies, Inspector. This case is under your jurisdiction, not mine. I leave it in your hands. When you're ready, I suggest a word with the hotel coroner. She should have finished her autopsy by now.
Inspector, glad you're back. Thank you for being so patient with slug activity. I hope you'll forgive the delay. Welcome to the Piraeus spaceport.